Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. Seeing just a few clouds around the area this morning with once again some cold and slightly breezy conditions. We do expect cold conditions to prevail as we move through the day today. We will see those winds once again pick up as we get later in the morning and through the afternoon time frame, keeping quite cold and chilly conditions through the area, but overall not expecting any precipitation today. We'll just see some clouds around the area. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we still have that strong area of low pressure well off to the northeast, just off the picture here. That's keeping that tighter pressure gradient through the region and keeping those breezy to windy conditions at times. That expected to continue through today as well as into tomorrow, and we'll start to see a relief from some of those winds as this area of high pressure briefly builds into the area during the day on Friday. Looking at current conditions this morning, just a few clouds around 3,000 feet, scattered deck at 18,000 feet. Winds out of the northwest at 8 knots, seeing some stronger gusts out there, but still not currently in the wind advisory at this time. Seeing a temperature of 26 degrees and our relative humidity is at 57%. If we take a look at the current visible satellite, we see still some of that snowfall showing up on the surface here, and otherwise just seeing some mainly mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through the area, and a few lower level clouds with those winds coming across the water. And again, expecting some increase in that low level cloud and mid level cloud with a weak upper level disturbance that will move through the area. Not expecting, again, any precip with that, just some increased clouds and elevated winds. If we look at the European model here, zoomed out a bit just to see what we can expect the next couple of days. Again, not expecting any precipitation as we move through the day today, but you do see that tight pressure gradient keeping breezy conditions, particularly as we get later in the morning and during the afternoon time frame. Might see those peak winds slack off slightly as we get into the evening, and then once again they will pick back up going into the start of the day on Thursday. But as you can see, no precipitation continues into the morning hours of Thursday, but we will start to see those winds ramping back up again. So a good chance of seeing a wind advisory today and likely seeing a wind advisory for our Thursday. And continuing with those dry conditions as we move into Friday. As you can see, that area of high pressure starts to build into the region as we get into the morning hours of Friday. That will briefly build in over the region for the day Friday. That will allow those winds to settle down, and we'll see those thickness values rising slightly, allowing some slightly milder temperatures, but still well below average for this time of year through the day Friday. And then as you can see, this area of low pressure tracking towards the region as we get into the weekend. That's going to be our next weather maker, particularly as we go early Saturday morning and through the day on Saturday. Right now, indications are could see maybe a couple of inches of some additional snow with this, but we'll be narrowing that down as we get a bit closer to that situation. If we take a look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, main story will be cold conditions and windy conditions. We do expect those winds to increase out of the northwest to west-northwest, peaking around 11 to 16 knots, with peak gust up around 28 knots. So get into an orange risk for those wind advisory criteria as we get later in the morning, and then up to a red risk as we go into the afternoon and first part of the evening hours. That's going to keep those wind chill values in the upper teens as we move through the day today, and then going into the evening, we'll see those temperatures cooling down, as well as those winds continuing to stay elevated, and that's going to drop those wind chill values into the lower teens and upper single digits. So we do start to pick up that orange risk for those wind chill values below 10 degrees as we get past the 20 local time frame, and then up to a red risk as we move through the 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. time frame, with those single digit wind chills looking fairly likely. Our actual high temperature for today will be around 33 degrees, and our actual low for tomorrow morning will be around 19 degrees. And as you can see, getting into the start of tomorrow, we'll likely see those winds out of the northwest, 13, 18 knots, gusting up to 30 knots. For our cloud cover, just seeing there's a few clouds around this morning, and then as we get into the afternoon, we'll have a chance of seeing a ceiling develop around 3,500 feet, with mainly just level cloud layer around 3,000 feet and 18,000 feet, and then into the evening we'll see those lingering around, and then eventually start to see those skies clear as we pass the midnight time frame. Tides running slightly below normal, and next couple of days, Thursday, we'll see mostly sunny conditions, but we'll struggle to get at or above freezing, expecting our high of 32 degrees. We'll see breezy and cold conditions once again. Wind chill values will be in the upper single digits and lower teens, and expecting again those breezy conditions, slightly breezier than what we'll see today. And we'll see those red risk for that wind advisory criteria for our Thursday. So good chance or likely chance we'll see that wind advisory. That will likely continue into the first part of the evening, Thursday evening, where we'll see continued clear conditions, continue slightly breezy, and we'll see those wind chill values continue to be in the upper single digits and lower teens. Our actual low will be 20 degrees for Thursday evening. So we do keep that yellow risk for those winds that are above 25 knots. And then as we move into Friday, we should see those peak winds slack off below that 25 knot level. So looking at green conditions for that threat there, we will see some slightly breezy conditions to start today, but then those peak winds will gradually decrease through the day as we'll start to see increasing clouds ahead of that next system, becoming mostly cloudy as we get later in the day. Our actual high temperature will be 36 degrees, so slightly milder, but still well below average for this time of year. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operations weather briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecast. Enjoy your morning.